asking you a very clear question, not even long-winded. The question is, what have you done? What have you done?
What have I done to address a problem that you don't think exists?
Do you not want to answer? You don't have to answer, because I think that's the answer. Is that have you not done anything to combat fatherlessness?
You just now acknowledged, in your opinion, that what I just now said isn't even a problem.
You're asking me, what have you done? Have you done anything?
That's a problem that you don't think is a problem.
Larry, we gotta go.
Larry,
hold on.
I'll take that as a no.
Yeah,
I'll take that as a no. Gotta go. That's a simple question.
Larry, tell him where to go. LarryElder.com. No, we gotta go, Larry. You don't like we can't do that now. You gotta at least. That's the woman in the house. You gotta at least. I'm not.
And now you want me to do. Answer
Larry, it's your campaign, Larry. Larry, this is your campaign. Your campaign is about fatherlessness. I'm giving you the floor to talk about how you have combat fatherlessness, because you say it is such an issue in this country and you don't want to answer the question.
I'm happy to answer the question, provided that you acknowledge that there is a problem.
Larry, get the fuck out of here. That's Larry Elder, guys. LarryElder.com.
I might not post any more new videos. I got so many videos that are backed up. Some I think like a few of them are even incomplete because I was being interrupted and I said, oh, I'm gonna come back to it later. So I just need to actually sit down and get through the videos that I did do. Because my it's not that my thoughts are always constantly evolving, but sometimes like there's points I made in a video I didn't post, and then I missed it in a video that I did post, and sometimes I hate that because I'm like, damn, I really wanted to drive that point home, but every time I remake a video, sometimes I'll forget some of these points. But anyway, I was looking at my bell notifications and somebody left a comment underneath the video where, I was responding to the Vans interview with Larry Elders. And it got me thinking about that interview. And when, I don't know her name, but the young black woman that's basically the co-host with Van. And the part where she lost her cool and she snapped at Larry Elders. And I feel like her, basically, she acknowledged that was out of her character. And even Van acknowledged that was out of her character. Where she was like, it's your campaign, Larry. Like just snapped at him. And he deserved every amount of being snapped at because he was playing dumb, he was playing games. So you acknowledge that the that fatherless homes are a problem? Like, and that was to Vans. That wasn't even to her. Like, Vans is the one that was challenging him about that. She was just asking the question. And he was on some bendeth thy knee bullshit. I need you to acknowledge that fathers not being in the home is a problem. And she was like, dude, just answer the fucking question. What have you done to address fatherlessness in the home if this is going to be the platform that you're running on, politically? And he just kept going back to, are you going to acknowledge? I need you to acknowledge first that fathers not being in the home is a problem. And it just kept going around in a circle. And I think about whenever I see like these old clips of black people, whether it's Malcolm X, whether it's, what was the guy's name? I think it was like George Farmer, even the debates that they have, I mean, watching as many Malcolm X debates as I've watched, he almost never loses his cool. He might get slightly irritated about something, but it's still like his voice doesn't go above a certain threshold. And when you look at, even when he was in Philadelphia and he talked to that Negro bedwench that called the one with the real squeaky voice, and was basically on some, race doesn't matter. She was like the Candace Owens of the day. Race doesn't matter. I think you focus too much on race and blah, 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 blah. And we're all human beings and da, 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 right? Even though saying we're all human beings doesn't change the tribalism. It doesn't change the group economics. And black people are not the group that's in the position of power to determine, the outcome of, ignoring the race issue. But anyway, I'm saying her and Malcolm and the interviewers, I'm always blown away at just how not only crystal clear, because even me sometimes, like, my thoughts get jumbled and I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. I end up using filler words like, yeah, you know what I mean? All that stuff. And they're so crystal clear in how they speak. But I'm always envious of that, right? And I can think of that video with the black girls in Queens in the 1970s where they were riding their bicycles through a neighborhood and the white kids were throwing rocks at them and they were like, "Get out of here, nigga," right? And then the black girls got up on the microphone and just the way that they talked, it was crystal clear. It was, I'm upset with the way that I'm being treated, blah, 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 blah. And there was nothing ghetto, ratchet, or anything about it. Like now, if you put a mic in the face of the average, African American that's living below a certain socioeconomic class, you're just going to get a whole bunch of mush mouth. You're going to get a whole bunch of just mumble mouth and just an inability to publicly speak and articulate their points well. And that's the crazy part, right? Because when you go back, like, you cannot find black people back in the day that can't articulate themselves. Even the country bumpkin black people, who are some of the worst people when it comes to articulating themselves back then, did a better job, than what exists today. Today is just horrific, right? But this isn't about, vernacular and etiquette and all that. Well, it is kind of about etiquette. But what I really want to talk about is I want to talk about the level that her outburst in that Vans clip, her outburst, which flies in stark contrast to which flies in stark contrast to, what I'm saying about what you see with the interviews from like the 1960s and stuff like that. And up until that point, the whole thing, it was mainly Van and Larry going back and forth, but it was respectable, right? But there were a couple points where like Van was like, "Larry, or at the end he was like, "Larry, get the fuck out of here." You know what I mean? And it really goes to show you, like, I remember I was telling Cap this, because we were always talking about the whole respecting your elders thing, and whether it was intrinsic or whether it was based off of the fact that, like, young people back in the day, like, the community was more intact. You would go to church, you would get your economic opportunities from Mr. Jacobs, who was in the church, and there was a connection there. And now that connection is broken. You know what I mean? And I remember I was telling Cap this about, like, the whole, cause see, Cap is he's one of these folks that he likes to open carry. And I'm against open carry in urban environments because I'm like, I'm thinking like all these other scenarios. And I actually got a video talking about some of these like safety issues that I see people just doing that are just completely just fucked up. But anyway, like shit like the decals on the back of people's car. I'm like, yo, so you're telling everybody exactly how many people you have in your household? So I've seen ones that have the mom and two cats and a dog and the kids. And it's like, so you're letting everybody know that there's no man around. I'm like, brilliant. They got these little stickers. White people do that shit. I told you, white people leaving keys at the gym, all that stuff, right? So I'm getting off track. But, Cap, he's like a big open carry guy. And there was a video clip of, it was like 3 black males trying to steal the gun from like an undercover cop I don't know if it was an undercover cop or the cop was in uniform. I think he was in uniform. That's what made it so like egregious or something like that. He was off duty, but he was in uniform. And trying to think what happened. Yeah, so I was trying to really drive the point home to Cap. I was like, these young boys, they don't give a fuck. Like I'm like, you really gotta understand what not giving a fuck is. And because I'm been making the point about how anybody can get it. Grandma can get it, dad, mom, the kids anybody can get it. And that's the sentiment, right? And I see a lot of older people that they always try to blame younger people about that. And I'm like, nah, adults are the ones that set the tone and set the pace and set everything up. And they always try to make it like, oh, the young people, they've just deviated. Why have they deviated? How did they deviate? Where were the guardrails? Where were the things that prevented young people from going down that route? And ultimately, in my opinion, it comes down to recognized powerlessness. It's like the black elders don't comprehend power. And this is the whole issue of why and how we've even ended up where we ended up, when it comes to the boomers and some of the Gen Xers. They were not focused on power. They're focused on respectability politics and all that bullshit. And young people today, it's like if you push us enough, we will black out on your ass. We don't give a fuck. And the attitude, in my opinion, if I could sum it up in a phrase, it's kind of like dead man walking. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're already dead, right? You got nothing to look forward to. You know what I mean? Like you're walking around like you're waiting for somebody to put that straw to break the camel's back just so you can just wild the fuck out and black out and get all that pent up anger and shit out of your system. And that's when she snapped at him again, to get somebody to step out of character like that, it's like there's already, when it comes to the older black people, there's already a the disrespect. It's right below the surface of the fake cordial shit. We already want to blow a gasket on older people because of a lot of the shit that they didn't do. And then they got the audacity to play fucking games with us. And we got cell phones in our hand that literally have all the information that we could possibly need about shit in our hands. I forget who I was talking to recently about that. I think I was talking to my cousin about that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I was explaining to him. I was like, dude, as because I was talking about the whole being present in the community thing, and we were having a deep conversation about that. And I was like, the whole thing, I was like, I got a mentor. We talk about the whole respecting your elders type of thing. And he made a point about how back in the day, he was like, yeah, if an old person says something, you just took it at face value. I mean, you just assumed that they were older, they had more information, and, you just took it at face value. And I was like, yeah, we don't operate like that. First off, most of us already know that we have more information than the people that came before us. Just off of the strength that, my generation, I grew up, with the awareness of, computers, and then they slowly became more accessible, and, then every school had them. Like I was in a school that, there was always computers, in the classroom and everything. It didn't start out with access to the internet. I was of the generation of, the freaking, AOL, what is it? America Online, with the 56K modem, right? That's when I was coming up in the ranks. And, now, you have 5G internet, videos at your disposal, documentaries, all of the type of stuff. It's like information overload, for people that, actually use the internet as a tool know more and understand more. And I mean, nobody even knew what the fuck fractional reserve banking was other than people in finance. Nobody knew what that was. Just certain things. And there's always these documentaries and information, and you can, if you want to say that the documentary is biased, you can go and then, do your research and Google it up, and it's all there. It's at your fingertips. And this is the problem. Black Authority has addressed this. Professor Black Truth has addressed this. When it comes to older black, low information voters. My parents, as much as I love my parents, and my mother is the worst one. She's worse than my father. My mother is a profoundly low information voter. Just lower. I'm trying to explain to her. I'm like, black folks say, my generation is not going for, the okadoke. We talking reparations. We talking tangibles. Y'all been running around voting for Democrats forever. Ain't got shit to show for it. They over there. Oh, what can we do for the Asian community? Oh, you need money. Oh, we got you. Oh, you need a anti-hate crime bill. Oh, we got you. Oh, Ukraine, you need, $70 billion. Oh, we got you. Now it's Israel. Oh, you need $100 billion. Oh, we got you. Right? The Palestinians, we'll give you $100 million so that we can, look good as the United States and look like we have somewhat of a conscience. And then when you go to talk about African Americans and the plight that we have experienced via redlining, blockbusting, eminent domain, urban renewal, convict leasing, freaking COINTELPRO, CIA Contras, 1994 crime bill, right? Job discrimination, right? All of when we put all of that, together, and I could add to the list about World War II veterans not getting there. Cap sent me a documentary about World War II veterans and the conspiracy that was put in place to make sure that they didn't get their medals of honor. And I just recently found out this, and that shit was fucked up. Hattie McDaniel, that black actress that played the maid in Gone with the Wind, and how she was the first one to receive an Oscar, and they put her in a segregated section, so she was over there all by her fucking self, when it came to her receiving her award. So she came out of the segregated section, received her award, gave her speech, and talked about being a credit to her race, and then went back to her segregated, section. I'm like, that shit is fucked up. That shit is foul. But in any event, I'm saying we have all this information at our fingertips. And you still got, Otis, the security guard, the old black man with the pot belly and too much cheesy gold and shit like that, with his chest out, got his nigga naps coming through his fucking top of his shirt and shit like that, right? And got the damn near like a handlebar mustache, and want to tell you about the world and what he knows and everything. And this motherfucker didn't do anything other than work at the one of the first jobs he applied to, stayed there for fucking 30 years, and just got up, went to work every day, and came home and retired. Like, everything was just laid out. You know what I mean? And he didn't try to start a business. Can't talk to him about an LLC. Just none of that shit. Just lived a simple life. And I understand that a lot of people, that's what they do. It's not to necessarily knock it. It's just, it pisses us off when we have so many problems that we have to face as younger African Americans. And even I say that, with a grain of salt. And it's like the generation that came before us didn't even try. You go back, it's like, what the fuck were y'all on when Dr. Claude Anderson was giving speeches about powernomics in the fucking 70s? Like, what were y'all on? This even goes back to the argument about, whatever I forget, Ace Butterfly and all that stuff about, programs for boys and everything. Again, you go back to the, Soul City with Senator, what was his name? He wasn't a senator, Kissimmee, and, once the seed money was gone, that was it. This is the whole issue with things being sustainable. And a lot of black people like to dive into, feel goodery and the at least we're doing something trap, and they fail to recognize or examine whether it's actually effective or not. But anyway, getting back to Larry Elders, it's like, again, we have information at our fingertips. And it's like, it's almost like, don't fucking question my intelligence when I'm already assuming I got more information than you. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But when you start doing shit like playing games, and again, it's like my fingers already itching. My fingers already on the trigger. Like I already mentally want to just blow you the fuck away. And you end up with these like old cats that play these fucking games like we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we're demanding. We don't know how the game is played. We don't understand white supremacy. You know what I mean? And a lot of us have better arguments than y'all ever did. A lot of y'all drank the Kool-Aid. And it's like, yeah, that day of, giving older black people that sort of deference and that sort of default respect where you wouldn't even so much as raise your voice, that shit is over. And I don't even know what's going to happen, for future generations. Because I do think that the respect, should be there, but it should be based on something. Not just because a nigga old. It should be based, I should respect you because of your deeds and what you've done and what you've achieved and what you've accomplished. You know what I mean? And what you've put together with the consideration of future generations in mind. You know what I mean? But obviously, like Larry Elders, he's sold us out. Nobody's saying that the Democrats are perfect. They're far from it. It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. We already know what time it is. But we're not gonna tolerate you tap dancing like the Republicans give a fuck about us when they running around with Southern strategy and everything else. Even Steve Bannon is recognizing, maybe we should pander to the African American males because there seems to be a problem. Right? There seems to be some dissension in the ranks. Right? Something for them to run out here and capitalize on. But the main driving point of this, me even making this video is, that, the girl that was on Vans snapping at Larry Elders. And like I said, it was a well-deserved snap. But I'm like, when I know where it comes from, but it's kind of like, I still kind of ask the question, like, where does that come from? Like, in other words, like, where did y'all boomers fail? Because, Larry Elders is a boomer. It's like, where did you all, like, it's like, there's no self-reflection. It's always like, oh, we don't respect you because we're just degenerates. We don't know Jesus or some shit like that. It's never, you're not respected because y'all didn't do what the fuck you were supposed to do. It's never that with the older black generation. It's never that. And these motherfuckers just walk in the room and act like, they supposed to get that shit by default. And the thing is it's not by default. It's a fucking courtesy. We're giving you a courtesy. And again, we're already funny about even giving that to you. And then you come into this space and then you're playing with our fucking intelligence. You know what I mean? And you're playing with our integrity and what the fuck we know. And when we ask you, I don't give a fuck how old you are. When we ask you a direct question, motherfucker, we want a direct answer. And that's why, man, I would have snapped harder than Vance, and I would have snapped harder than she did if I was in that room with Larry Elders. I would have broken down completely. You know me. I would have blacked the fuck out on Larry Elders. Because that type of shit happens far too often with old niggas in the black community. Happens far too often. Where they got whatever, these other agendas that have nothing to do with us. They playing these fucking games. You know what I'm saying? Acting like it's like a non-street smart motherfucker trying to talk to a street smart motherfucker. Like that's what it feels like. Even from the educated lame standpoint. Because it's like, yo, we got more information, and like your sound bites aren't gonna work with us. That shit don't work. Your propaganda don't work on us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like talk to us like you actually trying to accomplish something, as opposed to just trying to get, your voice heard and go up on social media and, oh, this is the new thing with young people. They listen to social media. Oh, let me make sure I get my Fox News soundbite in. Like, that shit doesn't work on us. We see the okie, and that's another thing, like, and that's another thing that's offensive. It's like, y'all been doing the okie doke and the dance and the shucking and the jiving. Y'all been doing that shit for so fucking long. You know what I'm saying? No, we don't have any. We see it for what it is, and you're not getting default respect. And then we run into the danger, or at least I know I do, of not giving any older people any respect. And I try my hardest not to do that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know you. Maybe you did accomplish some things. Maybe you did great things for the community. Maybe you did, do stuff. I just don't know about it because, that shit happened in the early 90s or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I was a kid. Like, right? So, it's like, I'm just sharing my thoughts on why, like, I wish I could just put out a warning to older people so they understand, but I already know, like, they're too simple-minded to understand what the fuck I'm saying. I mean, they're really simple-minded. Act like, they gaslight you and act like you don't know what the fuck is going on or what you're talking about, or that somehow your feelings about the anger that you have or the frustration that you have are somehow invalid. And I've had other people, they've anytime I talk about politics and the frustration, with my own family members, you know what I'm saying? Like I've had people say the same thing. They can't talk to their mom or they can't talk to their dad about politics because they just be on some low information vote shit. We can't select Donald Trump in the White House because it would just be a calamity. It would just be the Klan will rise again. And we out here on some different shit. We on some fuck around and find out. Not only are we on some fuck around and find out, right? Because we be on that 2A shit, but not only that, we want the mask off of America. Like, old black folks, they it's like, well, at least they ain't calling us niggas to our face. No, I want them to call me a nigga to my face. That way I know who the fuck they are. You got me out here, behind enemy lines and shit and thinking shit is sweet like I'm a goddamn Israeli. You know what I mean? And shit is not sweet. As we see, with the white boys walking in supermarkets, shooting the fucking place up. Right? And the crazy thing is, right, who's really getting killed when they do that shit most of the time? Old black folks. They go shoot up a church, old black folks. They go into a supermarket, old black folks. You know what I mean? Like I said, they ain't pulling up to the trap. They ain't pulling up where street niggas is at. They got all the problems in the world of black men, right? But that's not where they pulling up to. You know what I mean? They ain't pulling up where them boys got them things. They ain't pulling up to Stone Mountain, Georgia. They ain't pulling up to that shit. Motherfuckers pulling AR-15s out they pants and shit like they're about to like it's a super soaker in the middle of the summer. Like y'all think differently, you move differently, and we new niggas. Like, we just a new type of nigga. Like, we don't operate like y'all operate. And y'all don't know how to communicate with us. You're so out of touch. And it reminds me of the interview that I posted with Mitt Romney. And Mitt Romney, and it's like the most sensible thing that I've seen. Like, Mitt Romney's like, they're asking him, is he going to run for president? And he's like, I've been at this game for long enough. I'm from the era of, he put down Trump and was just like, basically talking about like the etiquette and the behavior. Like Trump acts like a petulant child, and he was bringing up, regardless of how you feel about their politics, Reagan, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., Bill Clinton, even though he didn't mention Bill Clinton, but he was saying he was, John McCain. He was bringing up Republicans, saying that, these are the Republicans from the era that I'm from, where like presidents act presidentially, right? Politicians act like there was a seriousness to it, and it wasn't all this like theatrics that Donald Trump has brought, right? But his main point was, he was like, it's time for the next generation to lead the country that they have to live in. And I thought that was it was simple, it was well said, and honestly, that's what we've been saying. But these people, these crypt keepers, they want to stay in power or stay in the spotlight as long as possible. It's like, your time is up. You were on the dance floor. Now get the fuck off. Your song is over. And they're still trying to be relevant. But I thought that was a very, it was a thoughtful statement that I haven't seen from boomers in a long time. Like, I think it's time that we step off the floor. I'm gonna go focus on my grandkids or whatever. Now, obviously, Mitt Romney, as a multi-millionaire, I mean, he got money he don't even know what to do with. You know what I mean? Other than pass it down to his kids. But you don't really see that in the black community. You don't see any idea of passing the torch, right? You see people having, selfish generational interest. It's not a community interest. It's like a selfish generational interest. Gotta make sure my Social Security, that type of shit. I just, me personally, I get very angry with, older black folks talking dumb shit, playing games like we're not smart enough to see the world for what it is and what's going on. And it gets, and they just keep doing it. And it gets to a point where, like, I just want to, like, take this old motherfucker, strap him to a fucking wheelchair and push him down a goddamn hill. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel about, like, get them the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I feel like fucking Sonny in a Bronx Tale. Like, no, he can't fucking, he can't fucking roll the dice, not with coffee cakes. Put him in the closet, put him in the bathroom, Like, that's how I fucking feel about boomers. Like, put them in the fucking bathroom. You can't put them in the bathroom. The whale's in the bathroom. I don't give a fuck. Put them in the fucking bathroom. That's how I feel about the shit. And it's part of me, you feel the disrespect. You're like, damn, that was mean. You feel it. You're like, damn, there's something wrong with me. Oh, I'm going to hell because I'm disrespecting a black older, But then, when they be playing them fucking games, with you, like with Larry L. I need you to acknowledge that kids on the fatherless homes are a problem. Like, Larry, just answer the fucking question. What are you doing that, since this is such a big issue, like we haven't heard it a million fucking times? Niggas was talking about this shit in fucking 2008. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Larry, Mr. Late to the party, not bringing anything to the table, probably, like, just trying to stay hip on some shit like, oh, let me watch 5 minutes of Kevin Samuels and he's relevant, and then I'll come and talk to the younger black people. Like, fuck out of here. Like, we're so sick of people fucking pandering to us like that. And the real problems are fucking economic opportunities, reparations, housing, home ownership, right? Obviously, older people don't have shit to do with the gender war, because they're not in the game anymore. But we can definitely see that, as black people, like young black people, we're getting screwed. And the older black people, they're just lost. They're just lost. They've been doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. It's been the same thing. Now Larry wants to sit there, he's like, well, that's what I'm advocating for. But you're not bringing any substance. You have no plan. And again, like young black people, like, we don't trust y'all niggas, man. We don't. You know what I mean? These fucking on either side of the political aisle. Like fucking, what's his name? Clyburn and shit like that. Fucking Uncle Ruckus. Freaking. I mean, he's a primary example. Clyburn is the quintessential black man, the boomer that just sounds just like a country bumpkin, don't know shit from piss. Just mumbling, just trying to get some butter biscuits from Massa. The type of politician. That's what he sounds like. And the same thing goes for, these Republican, conservative candidates. Where it's like, oh, I'm going to fake like I'm about the black community and then, try to get y'all to vote for me, which isn't going to happen. And then if they even got in, all they would do is, pander, cater to their fucking, their white overlords. Kind of like what the type of shit that you see with Mayor Adams. Black people done voted Mayor Adams in, right? And then Mayor Adams, got to take care of the Mexicans. Got to take care of all these immigrants coming here because we're an immigrant city and we're a sanctuary city and all this other bullshit. I'm like, nigga, they're not even citizens. They ain't the one that vote you in. What you think, we gonna vote you in again after this shit? Nah, nigga, you gone. Guaranteed he doesn't win re-election. Guaranteed. And it's nice. It's a breath of fresh air when it comes to black people. Not that, again, we love Republicans, but no, standing up to the Democrats. It's more important for black people to stand up to the Democrats than it is, to focus on whether a Republican gets or not. Because the Democrats have been black people's party. And you got to stand up to them first before you go out there fleeing to somebody else. You got to make a stand first. Right? You don't don't do the coward's way out, right? Because that's what black people want to do. They're like, nah, I want to go cheat on my girl. No, break up with the bitch first and let her know why you're breaking up with her. Then go and mess with the other girl that you want to talk to. But see, we haven't dealt with the breakup phase of the Democrat Party. And that's what I try to get black people to understand. If you're dissatisfied with them, you have to show you're dissatisfied with them and why you're dissatisfied with them. Not just start playing with the idea of, I'm going to go out here and cheat because, they're just going to think, there's a handful of people that, they're just dogs and they cheated and that's just a handful. That ain't most of them. No, you got to dig in their ass like those black women that had that politician, running out of the room and shit like that when they were talking about what you doing for black folks. Tired of everybody else being put in front of us. LGBT, fucking alphabet gang, Syrian refugees, Hispanics are coming across the fucking border, Ukraine, now it's the Israelis. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we voting for? Like, seriously, what are we voting for? So it's like I'm kind of like, I don't know how many of y'all feel this way. It's like, don't get the fuck in my way. Otherwise you're going to get knocked the fuck over. You know what I mean? Don't fuck with me. I'm not going to fuck with you, but do not get in my fucking way. Cause I already got my fist cocked. I'm already I'm already ready to knock out the first motherfucker that stands in my way. Do you want that to be you? And that's kind of how I feel when it comes to these old black folks. I'm like, look, I don't want to have to do it, but I will if you stand in my motherfucking way. You know, and it's just like, we just tired. We don't even really, you know, it's just at a point now where it's like, we don't even pay these niggas no mind, man. They bring no substance to the table. They're out of touch. They barely leave the house. You know what I mean? All they do is sit around and watch MSNBC, and then the TV accidentally falls on Fox News, and then, you know, they grumble about it, and that's about it. You know, and there is a problem with the fact that old black folks, more reliably than younger black folks, you know, they do go to the polls like that. You know what I mean? They go to the polls, especially old black women. They go to the polls. You know, but I'm not even saying that going to because we don't really have a party. So I don't know what the solution is. So what are you saying, Pete? Vote for the Democrats? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying vote for the Democrats either. I don't know what the most effective way of letting them know, you know what I mean, we have a fucking problem. I don't know what the most effective way, you know, of letting them know. I'm sitting here, I was going to get some fast food, and I'm like, I don't even want this anymore. I'm going to go to the other spot. You know what I mean? But I don't know what the most effective way. I mean, this has been a talking point for the last, you know, couple of years. It's been a talking point about what the hell, you know, what do we do? Do we vote Republican? Not vote? Sit on our hands? You know, try to get grassroots candidates? You know, have our own, you know, people that we want to put up there? You know, who would they be? You know, how do we back them? How do we fund them? You know, because you got money in politics, right? People running the commercials and all that other stuff, unless it's going to be a social media campaign. I mean, there's alternative ways of getting the message out without spending money, because you got the goddamn internet. You don't even need what are you supposed to? Yes, I must play my ad between Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless. Like, you don't have to do that shit anymore. Some politician up there talking about, you know, I am so and so and I approve this message. Like, we don't give a fuck about that shit. We know it's bullshit anyway. All we want to see is somebody talking the talking points that we want to hear, and demonstrate that they have enough understanding of the talking points to where they don't just sound like talking points. It's like, oh, this motherfucker gets it. Like somebody going up there talking about, you know, young black men being gainfully employed, like, and how we can't turn shit around unless we got young black men gainfully employed. I don't want to hear nothing about no fucking white Jesus. I don't want to hear nothing about any behavioral modifications. I don't want to hear about, oh, my programs for boys and my brother's keeper and all this shit that's just, you know, it's about changing your mindset without there being gainful employment. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You know, and it's just like, I don't know if y'all feel me on this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the attitude, that's the energy. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. We're tired of it. You know, and these fools, they still don't recognize it. These fools sit around and they think that, you know, those same old tired talking points that work on low information voters are going to work on us. You know, and it's like, no, you have a growing demographic of people that shit ain't working no more. I'm here to tell you that shit. You know, and it wasn't like any of us are going to vote for Larry Elders anyway. We already pegged Larry Elders' card a long time ago. Larry's right up there with Thomas Sowell and Jesse Lee Peterson, you know, Candace Owens. You know what I mean? They all on the coon train. We already know what time it is with them. You know, which is why a lot of black people don't fuck with black politicians. black conservative politicians. Let me be specific. But the liberal politicians, they ain't much better. They always up there. You start talking about reparations and shit. These motherfuckers run off in the other direction. Oh, woo! Look at the time. Gotta go. Look at the time. I got some place to be. Right. So, and I've heard all the arguments. Oh, that's not a winning platform. Oh, that's that. Oh, you know how they get money to Israel no matter what. You know what I mean? There's all type of media propaganda and everything else telling us, oh, you should support Israel. Even though these motherfuckers are Ashkenazi Jews and they hail from Europe. They're from Germany and Hungary and freaking Poland. Right? In Russia. That's where they're from. Right? But they want you to, the Palestinians, they just attacked us out of nowhere. It was an ass whooping that just fell out of the sky. We've treated them people real goods. Bullshit. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what time it is. Like we don't know the history. Haganah, Stern Gang. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what time it is. You know what I mean? Terrorist attacks on the British to get them the fuck out of there. The Nekba. Acting like we don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? How Israel supported Hamas, right? Basically created Hamas because they wanted an opposition party to the PLO, Yasser Arafat, right? Oh, how does this nigga know this shit? Oh my God, we gotta shut down the internet. These niggas know too much. See, this is why there's nothing politicians love more than ignorant voters. Ignorant voters, or voters that they can get you on emotional on some shit to be a one issue voter. Ah, yes, here. I have several cards here for you to choose from. We have gun control. We have abortion. We have Black Lives Matter. We have religious parental rights. We have feminism. Yes. And we have reparations, but that's just a wild card. It doesn't really do anything. So yeah, just pick from these, because we're not going to talk about getting rid of NAFTA, bringing U.S. manufacturing back to the United States, the return of union. No, we're not going to talk about any of that stuff. Oh, absolutely not. Doing something about that subsidizing housing, right? We're not going to do anything about that. That'll affect us boomers, property values. That's our nest egg, right? So we, future generations, they got to pay more money so that right before I die, the house that I bought for $30,000, no, not $30,000, $90,000. Right before I die, I get to sell it for $500. That seems fair. That makes sense. This is the fucking world we live in. And I know most of that is white folks. That ain't even black folks. The black people ain't sitting in no $500,000 homes. Fucking somebody on this planet, fucking over 70 years old and ain't accomplished shit in life. What the fuck is that? Like somebody said, friggin', why is it all the vampires are rich? It's like, motherfucker, if you've been living since 1817 and you're not rich in 2023, motherfucker, just walk into the sunlight. Just walk out into the sunlight at that point. But anyway, man, I had to get that off my chest because I could not get that thought. I mean, that clip, that energy that she gave, it speaks volumes to how so many of us feel when it comes to, black boomers. Speaks volumes. It's like, hey man, I like what Cap says. Cap, when you start pissing Cap off and you try to come to him with some bullshit, Cap will look you dead in the eye and be like, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? And that's literally what it feels like with these fucking boomers, man. Don't fuck with me. You know, they just come off try to tell you some bullshit like you're supposed to gobble it up. Fuck out of here. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I had to get that off my chest. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, that's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. It's your fucking campaign, Larry.